my channel. Today I wanted to talk you through, have a quick walkthrough of my April 2016 New York holiday page layouts. I did these a few months ago, kind of playing catch up, but I just thought I'd show you the layouts that I came up with as it is part of my main Project Life album, as you can see. Part of my main album. I didn't do it as a kind of separate mini album or anything, but I just thought it'd be nice to show you these kind of holiday spreads. All these layouts that you see when done with the Studio Calico kit is the April kit. That's the only subscription that I have. It's great for me. I just kind of use it month by month. I know exactly where I am. I know what I've got in my stash. I just find that works really well for me. These large chipboard letters were, I think I just picked them up again off the Studio Calico website. I think they were reduced in the sale. So I just thought that was a great way of kind of separating that from my normal kind of spread. The Big City Lover card is a card from 2015 Studio Calico. I don't know which kit, but I'd been hoarding it for a while and it fitted perfectly there. The numbers, again from a past kit. I probably should have found out what kits they were from, but I did that to kind of document the days, so I was only there for like 4 or 5 days, so I just thought it was a nice way to break up which day was which. I've put some memorabilia in, so I've got my Metro card on that one, and on this one you can see the kind of receipt for going up the Rockefeller Centre with, and I've added a little embellishment there for a ticket. I've used typewriter to do my documentation, just to say what we had done on each day. Sometimes when I use a typewriter it doesn't always quite go to plan. As you can see there, I kind of tried to get it on the lines, but I didn't return it enough the first time, so then I kind of continued to try and kind of squash it in with the different lines. But it still comes out okay, and I love that card to kind of fit. That is still one of my favourite memories. We just sat in Starbucks, had a cake, had a coffee, and just watched the world go by. The majority of these photos were taken on my 70D, so my proper digital SLR camera. A couple were taken on my iPhone, but the majority of them were off my main camera. I'd like to have a quick experiment with some pictures. So as you can see there, I did a bit of a slow exposure with the taxis. This is one of my favourite spreads, and I do love doing 3x3 grids as it is. I don't do them that often, but I do really enjoy them. But the one thing, and I love doing shaker pockets and things like this, but they look great on their own, but then when you've got them in an album you can always see the pictures obviously underneath, so you sometimes have to think about what's going on these pages to make sure they still look good when they're obviously piled up in the album. I've used, again, bits and pieces from either the April kit or bits that I've hoarded, such as the Yep, the little gold sequins for like a little bit of shaker pocket. This was the Museum of Moving Image, which I loved. I'm actually a media studies teacher. We went on a school trip, so going here was just amazing. Seeing all the props, the cameras, things like that, it was fab. So I wanted to put quite a few pictures in from that, hence the grid. Again, when you're doing a grid or see-through pockets, you've got to think about what's on the other side. So the shaker pocket works well. I just did something on the other side of that label to make it match, and then the Yep being backwards is fine. When you're doing a 3x3 grid, obviously some pictures aren't gonna squash in or aren't gonna fit, so I'm happy to go over a couple of images just to kind of break it up and fit them in the pockets where they need to go. Okay, so day 2. We were supposed to go to the baseball, but well, I say it was raining. We have rain in England, and it wasn't as bad as that. It really wasn't that wet when you think about how the conditions that we might play football or rugby in. But yeah, we didn't end up going. The baseball was another day, so as it was a bit wet, we went to the National History Museum just to fill up the time. I took way too many pictures in the museum, but I just picked a selection of them and cropped them in again with a bit of journaling, using the numbers again, that currently stamp, which actually I don't know what kit that's from. I haven't used that since. I'll have to find that out because I quite like the look of that stamp. Just a kind of, again, memory of the date and a bit of journaling as to what happened. Although this day was really rainy, it was one of my favourite days. We walked for absolutely miles. It was crazy. My feet hurt at the end. We walked all the way from the Natural History Museum. We walked through to Central Park down Fifth Avenue, and we also went to the Twin Towers Memorial Centre. So we did a lot of walking that day in the drizzle, in the rain, but it was still really good. So again, a bit of journaling there. That probably could do with some text, but hey, it says what it needs to. I'll know where that is, but I might go back and add some journaling on there, but I'm happy with how this one turned out. I think when you're documenting something like, you know, the Freedom Tower, things like that, I think it can be quite hard not to document it in a really fun, bright way, because you obviously want to kind of, you know, yes, it's a good memory of being there, but you obviously want to represent what it means and almost the somberness of it and kind of what it meant. So with the few images that I'd chosen, I'd hoarded these cards. So I just kept it really simple and just thought that these ones worked really well. And then on to the evening when we went to Planet Hollywood. Again, unsuccessful typing with... again, I forgot to put the date there. You can tell this is kind of finished but not quite finished. Kind of just got it wrong again by going over. My typewriting definitely needs practice, but yeah, you can just about kind of figure out what I'm trying to say. Filler cards that I just picked up on the colours. Again, we've been in Times Square, there are so many different colours, it can overwhelm a little bit, so I just picked the one colour, got them to match, kind of went through a few card stashes and just got them to fit. And then this page is a full page 9x12. That, yes, I think, whether it came in the April kit or another kit, I felt like I wanted something on that embellishment on that picture. But again, the picture's quite bright, it's quite busy. I certainly didn't want loads of things on it. And the same with, again, kind of photography experiment. Bit of a slow shutter speed, capturing the Times Square. On to day 3. Again, I've got the date kind of printed down here, but I just thought to separate the days, these numbers worked really well. Quite picture heavy as this whole spread is, but that suits me. I prefer the pictures than loads of journaling and loads of filler cards. Journaling in the middle, just to kind of centre it. It was absolutely freezing. I mean, it's cold in England, but being at the top of that stadium in the cheap seats and being in the shade, it was absolutely freezing. So we were well wrapped up, but it was fun nevertheless. The atmosphere was brilliant, so we had a really good kind of afternoon at baseball. In the evening we went to Aladdin on Broadway. Obviously when you do things like that you can't take many pictures, and so I just did the show bill. I thought that card worked really well with the, was it 5-6 stars on, just to kind of review it, and the sign of where we went, and then Aladdin on Broadway, epic. I think I couldn't really think of much else to kind of say for that, so that summed it up for me really. On our last evening we went up to the top of the Empire State Building. The pictures say it all. I've just done simple things like put kind of the wow word there. That card was, I didn't do that, that was a pre kind of stamped one. So very awesome. That's a little kind of 2x2 card, which I think there was something random under there on the original card, so I stuck that on top because I wanted like the darker theme. And a little bit of journaling there as well, just to kind of tie it in. And on day 4, before we travelled home, we went to the Statue of Liberty. So I had loads of, I took literally, I've been there before, but I still took about 50-60 pictures, probably just of the statue and the boat and kind of the scenery and things like that. So I picked the best ones that kind of best represented the day and put the memorabilia in there of the ticket as well. Now, I'm not a scrapbooker, but I did attempt because I knew I wanted to try it, and I knew I had these 12 pockets, and I thought, well, I might as well use them. So I had a go at doing a scrapbook layout. I'm sure the experts out there will tell me that it's a little bit rubbish, but hey, I quite like how it turned out. I use the kind of gold alpha letters. I've got the little admissions, a little tab there that I've kind of pinned down that says "So Awesome," and I think that's a Ali Edwards stamp. Picking up the gold, which I've kind of had running throughout the little globe. That was from a kit a while ago. This paper again was the 12 by 12 piece of paper from Studio Calico that I cut down. I purchased it knowing I was going to New York, so I hoarded it for this particular purpose, whether to just use as a filler card or however I chose to use it. But I'm actually quite happy with how that turned out for one of my first scrapbook layouts. I really enjoyed it. I did look at Pinterest quite a lot to get some ideas, so it's probably not the most original. I followed a bit of someone else's idea, but I like the way it turned out, and I think it makes the most of that picture. And then that is it. And then I was planning on printing another picture there, but I just never got around to printing it. And then we carry on with back to the normal kind of week. So that is my New York spread within my Project Life album. Hope you enjoyed getting some ideas just to kind of how to document a holiday, which is very photo heavy. Any questions, please feel free to ask. Like, thumbs up and subscribe if you enjoyed. Thanks guys, see you soon. Bye.